All right,
Hey,
we are
salutations,
live.
everybody.
What?
Hey, all right, listen, Holden. It was just 1 week that I was gone. All right, fall the fuck back. There's my little sections here at the beginning and shit. All right, don't be fucking stepping on my intro and shit. Hey, salutations, everyone. This is the Perspectives Pod. I'm that asshole, is Littyyy Bro Flacko. This is my buddy right here, my co-host or the other host. I feel very particular about words like co-host. I'm like, it makes it sound like he's co-hosting and I'm the host. And I don't like that. You know what I mean? It's like we're just both co-hosts. You know what I mean? But anyway, and my other co-host over here to my right, Holden Stephan Roy. Holden, say hi. Holden.
Hi, Holden.
That's right. All right. And we got our special guest in the building, Bronx legend, battle rapper extraordinaire, Littyyy Bro, just all
Nice.
around quintessential New Yorker. Because he's such a quintessential New Yorker, I made sure that I had my background New York City. You know what I mean? I got my my flannel shirt on, and I got a motherfucking bubble vest. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all repping hard for the Bronx. I got my Timbs on. I'm not gonna do all that, bringing my feet up to the screen and shit. But like, you know what I mean? Like quintessential New Yorker, push Pax, Littyyy Bro Pax, formerly known as Push Pax.
Man. What's up, y'all? Thanks for having me. You call me a legend. I appreciate that. That's love. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel
Absolutely,
that
bro.
way, but that's love. Thank you, bro.
Nah, absolutely. Yo, I tell you this, before every show, like we do a whole like an hour where we like either depending on what the person that we're interviewing does, like for Jay Smooth, because Jay Smooth is just a radio host, it's not like we could play like video or audio from his radio shows. So we just like watched his interviews that he's done. Like luckily he's like a famously cool guy and he's gotten to do a fucking TED talk, right? So like it's cool to sit there and watch a TED talk, about somebody that's gonna interview. But like we watched his TED talks with like certain people, like if they make mostly music, we listen to their music. If they make battles, we watch their battles. Depending on what you do, you know what I mean? Like we watched the stuff beforehand. And like as we were watching your battles, I'm like, yo, absolute legend, yo. Like absolutely deserving of the title. Like the battles that you've had, like you had some really good battles against like people who are not chumps, like people
Right.
who are like on fire at their prime of being on fire, and like for you to have stood toe to toe with people like that and being able to like not only hold your own but come out victorious in some cases, like I think that like absolutely like the stuff that legends are made out of, you know what I mean? So
It's,
definitely Bronx legend, definitely deserved in the title. So usually, right, the way we start out the show is like I explain to everybody like the way that like the show came about, right? Like me and the homie Holden, we met because like I was on that like promo run for like the first Littyyy Bros album and whatnot. And he Merker Miyagi, which was the engineer on the first project, like he's from Montreal.
shout
And
out, Merc.
he's like might as well be from New York though, right? Because like he don't ever like he engineers, but like he don't ever promote any of the people who he works like their stuff, because it's like promote one motherfucker, then you gotta promote them all, And I'm not promoting all that trash, you know what I'm saying? So like he's like that, so like he don't ever promote the shit he works on, but he promoted our shit, right? And that was pretty cool. And like Holden took notice of that because he was like, what? Like the homie Merker don't ever like really share people's shit. And he shared it with like, like a cool caption, like, like, oh, if I ever go to New York, like I want to party with the Littyyy Bros. This looks like, I forgot what he said exactly, but it
That's
was a cool
fire.
quote. You know what I
That's
mean?
fire. Yeah.
Cool cosign, right? And so like Holden, like on his own, went and checked us out, and like was like, yo, he wanted to review the music because he was on YouTube doing reviews and whatnot, and did a review on the album. And then I was like, he was like, oh no, I was like, yo, we should do an interview. And he was like, that sounds great. I wanted to do an interview anyway. You know what I mean? We did an interview, And then like the interview, after the interview, I felt like I went to fucking therapy and shit. You know what I mean? Like I was like, why have I been a rapper this long and I've never sat and talked about like shit that matters, like my actual life and shit. And I've always talked about dumbass rap shit, like fucking who's my favorite rapper and shit, or like would I or would I not be on fucking Love and Hip Hop, which is like, what does it matter? Like they're not calling me. Anyway, you know, so like, you know, we watched, you know, we did that interview. You know, I felt like therapy. I immediately act like a New Yorker, right? Which is like what? Like you get up on some dope shit. What do? You put people onto that shit. Yeah. So like I was like, yo, we should do a series where like I bring people to the table and like, you know, we talk about them, and then we set it off. And we've been doing this now for like more than half a year, I think now.
It's like 8.5 months.
Oh, 8.5 months. I love undershooting things and then hearing like the actual number, because it was like,
Bro, it was like late December, right? So for me, it's mad simple. It's like take whatever the month is and add a week or two.
Word. We did start in December. I forgot about that. So yeah, so you know, so and then here we are, you know, and so Holden has his usual questions he likes to ask, you know what I mean? But like, I decided to interject and make my little intro segment here longer than usual and shit. As you can see, I like to stretch it even more sometimes, right? And so, I got a question that I like to ask everybody, which is like, yo, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody the way that you like to be known, and tell them where you're from and where your parents are from.
I'm Pax, man. You could just call me Pax. I used to be Push Pax. I just took the push out my name because I just see no purpose there. I don't push Pax anymore. So it's like, I'm Pax now, bro. So I was born in Harlem, raised in the Bronx. Both my parents are from Puerto Rico, from the island itself. You know what I'm saying? And they came over here as youngins.
Word. Wait, what part of Harlem were you born in?
I was born in St. Luke's. Ayo, Cheeks, meet me up in St. Luke's. Word. I don't really know where that's at off bat, but yeah, that's where I was born.
Word.
That hospital. Yeah.
And you said your parents are from Puerto Rico, the island, like as in like they were born there, raised there, and then migrated here.
Yeah, they lived most of their life there. Well, not now, but when they got here, they was like 20, 16, 18, 20 years old in that range. I don't know exactly when, but around that time. Actually, my father came here after my mother. He came here a little, like he was already lived his late 28 years old coming over here, 26, 27 coming over. My mom came here when she was young, like 16, 17 years old.
Word.
Interesting. It's cool that you know that kind of stuff. I find it so interesting when people like actually take that time to invest in that level of detail about their own history.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's funny. I never asked my mom, but she always would tell us stuff like that. So, and I like you saying that, right? If my mom never told me that, I probably would have never asked her, and you guys wouldn't have got that. You know what I'm saying? So, for her to tell me that, it's like she wanted me to know her history or the origin.
Yeah, it's big.
That's important though. That really is. Like as I've gotten older, I've noticed how much more I care about like my parents' just history and background, and finding my like old, like my great grandfather, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like just knowing stuff about your family's history is like,
they wasn't from here, you know? They from over there. So knowing that our bloodline goes all the way back over there, and then from there it goes somewhere else, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it's ill to learn all of that about your own bloodline and your history.
Yeah, it's dope.
Big facts.
But it's also good because it helps create the context for the question I like to kind of get the ball rolling with. Because in a lot of ways, it's just important for you to remember that, like, I was born and raised in Montreal, and I've never been to New York City. So usually when things like "nah, I mean" get said, there's a good chance I do not know what you mean. With that, the viewers watching are also probably not entirely from New York City. So with that, it's a good opportunity to just share it all. But I just say that as like a little context because the first question is a bit of a story. And when it lands and whatnot, we're gonna get into the conversation. And it all starts with my girlfriend, and she's washing the dishes one time, and she's got her phone out, and she's playing that Black Eyed Peas song. I got a feeling.
I got a feeling.
And she's vibing, and she's dancing, and she's doing her thing, and she's washing the dishes. And I'm like, yo, when did this song become chores music? Right? Like, when the fuck did that happen? One day, a long time ago, we're sitting there in the clubs, and this is like the middle of the night music. It's like the big anthem. Like, that was the fucking song. Everybody drunk to that shit. Good times. And then a decade goes by. You know, the song doesn't really change or evolve in any particular way, but our lives changed so much around this one song that now it's chores music and it's exercise music and it's some shit that we want to put on to go back to the happy place in our mind as we go do the boring things in our day. And I was like, that was crazy to me to think about how much it all evolves. And if we think about it, right, I mean, there's a whole bunch of little 20-year-olds running around now that have no idea that whatever they're dancing to is about to become the chores music of their future. And I thought that was a little amusing. But then it made me realize that all that club music they're listening to is still what I'm putting on for chores music. It's just that club music kind of becomes that because all of this stuff changes through it where we're at in our lives on our particular journeys. Because while the song has a journey, so do us on our own like musical experiences. And often when we think about our own musical journeys and ourselves and the way it works out, we focus on like this adolescent era, the when I got into hip hop, the this is when I started rapping, I'm a teenager, but that's not really like the start of anybody's story, especially when it comes to something like music, which has been around us since the beginning of our lives, possibly down to like playing in a hospital room type level of you come into the world and there's something there. So with that, it got me thinking about how like way back, I'm like super young, 4 or 5 years old, my dad's got these like gray boxes, the fucking amplifiers and the radios and the tape decks, and they got the wires going all over the speakers and shit. He'd be busting his Led Zeppelin tapes and shit. At night we had the 90s Montreal techno music live from the clubs playing through it. My mom's was more into like discos and musicals and that kind of shit, and it was like it made me realize all these sounds, and you know, maybe in the car would be a different vibe, and like this was just like almost this whole universe of music and shit that I was listening to and being influenced by long before I had any control over it. So I was hoping, Mr. Pax, you could bring us all the way back down to the youngest days of being in New York and stuff, and what you could remember about the soundscape of your life before you had any control over things in it.
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. So I was when I was young, right? I was like 4 or 5. Me and my 2 sisters was in a foster home. So they had the older brother there. He was already going to college, so he would come back with a bunch of CDs. So the first CD I remember listening to was Black Moon. I don't remember any songs, but I do remember the cover of the album cover, and I remember putting it in the CD player and just putting it on. And that was like the first kind of music I listened to. It's hip hop, I'm sure. I really don't even know the history of Black Moon, anything like that. That was just the first CD I put in a CD player. And after that, like, it was mostly a lot of like Boys to Men, Mariah Carey, because this isn't my family. This is a house that I was living in, and these people was more of just away from hip hop. The family was straight off the island from Puerto Rico, so it wasn't kind of really feeling the hip hop thing. But the son, he would play it, so whenever he'd play, I listened to it. But it was mostly a lot of R&B and house music, a lot of house music.
That's
I wouldn't play it, but that's just stuff that was being played around.
That's actually kind of the MO for back then, right? Like New York City was a very heavy house freestyle city back in the days, exactly. Like really, really, really heavy. That was like
especially in the Puerto Rican households.
Especially in the Puerto Rican households, which was like it felt like we were talking about this in here on the EOW Zoom with Danny a couple weeks ago, and she was like, definitely Uptown. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it might not have been like heavily prevalent in Brooklyn, but like Uptown period, whether it's like Spanish Harlem or even like regular Harlem that had a lot of Puerto Ricans too in it, or like the Bronx, anywhere uptown, which that's all considered uptown, or definitely in the Heights, you know, before Dominicans were heavy in the Heights, you know, like Puerto Ricans were still there too as well. And it's just like, yo, wherever Puerto Ricans were, there was a heavy hand with the freestyle in the house. That was a very common thing back in the days, was like for house and freestyle to be very prevalent uptown in Puerto Rican Latin neighborhoods.
I mean,
that was a big thing. And also a lot of pop music. Like I said, these people they wasn't really into hip hop like that.
So when
Fresh off the island, they wasn't fucking with that.
So like when you were young, were you like invested in music, like, or were you more of like a fan, a consumer? Were you like dancing and singing? Like, what kind of involvement did you have with it?
Oh, you know, it's funny you say that. So, like I said, they listen to a lot of Mariah Carey, Boyz II Men, and I was more invested in the lyrics. I would open the jacket and read the lyrics as the song was playing. That was really my shit. I wasn't really invested in like the host, because the music was cool, but it wasn't like I wasn't into that music at that time. That was just what was around me. But I would just mostly it was always like I want to read the lyrics.
Right.
Word.
So you're saying like you were
even on rap songs as I got older.
Like you were like young, just pulling up in CD flyers, looking at the lyrics.
Yeah, facts.
That's
I was a good reader at 6, 7 years old, so I would just read the lyrics.
Yo,
every song.
You got it. So you're a reader from when you're young.
Yeah.
That's super dope. What kind of stuff did you read?
It's everything. Newspapers, books, whatever I see, I'll pick up and read it. Just because I know I could read. At that age, a lot of kids wasn't reading like me, so I would just pick up whatever and read because I know I could do it.
Yeah, that's super.
Anything
big.
I seen. Yeah.
So I guess as you're going through that, were you into anything else along the era of being young like that, like drawing or just different other kinds of stuff that might be artistic or whatever?
Not really, man. I was a cartoon comic book kid. Bikes and fucking video games. That was me for a while, for like all the way to like 11, 12 years old.
It's so funny. I had a lyric that I had written that I just never used, that I said like, from comic books and cartoons to beers and bitches. You know what I mean? Which is like how I see it. You know, like that was like the way I seeing my like what I cared about the most in life type shit. You know what I mean? Like comic books and cartoons. Right, and then puberty hit, and then it became beers and bitches, you know, or blunts and bitches, you know.
Yeah.
Pardon me, ladies. Sorry.
It was
lovely ladies.
I couldn't go outside like that, so it was Family Matters, cartoons after school, and Saved by the Bell and shit like that. So when Saturday came, it was the X-Men that came on. We watched Batman after school, so it was all like nerd shit, bro.
I fucks with it. So
facts. New York City is like that, by the way, though. It is not like a just you thing. A lot of people that have come on here, right? New Yorkers, born and raised, have talked about like the comic books and how heavy that influence was. And it really is. Like, it's just always, that's why you see shit like, you know, Method Man's AKA being Johnny Blaze, the real name of the original Ghost Rider, you know, from the 70s. Or like Ghostface being like AKA Tony Stark's, which is like Iron Man's real name. Like, you know, Inspect the Deck talking about what was it? Talking about Spider-Man in his lyrics, you know, like it's just heavy in hip hop from New York City is like this like appreciation for comic books. So like that's like on the money.
Yeah, no, for real. And we used to have those. Remember the mom and pop comic book stores we used to have? Them shits really don't exist no more over here. So I think that's why it died down as well.
Yeah,
but they're still out there because of the internet.
I mean, so you're saying there was just a lot of comic book stores to create the environment of having a lot of people be invested in this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's mad nifty.
Yeah. because you know what else was ill back then? The comic book cards. So you know how you get NBA player cards? Remember, niggas used to collect the Gambit, Storm, and just that character card and trade them and shit. That shit died out too.
I still got mine. And you know what? Like, because like this is the team, this is the squad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll bust them out real quick. You know, I still got my my old.
Say
You
what?
see, that's what I'm talking about.
Yo, I fucking swear, I might have some of that era's collection Marvel characters stored up in a closet right now. I fucking swear.
Whole ass book of this
Fuck
shit.
me, that shit's amazing.
Let me show you. Just to show you I ain't bullshit. I got a hardcover comic book right next to me, bro. Just to show you I'm not on no funny shit. This is real shit, bro. I'm really on that nerd shit.
Yo, but you know what's so funny though?
Don't confuse the shit.
Yeah, yo, it's so funny because I was gonna say it for you, Pax. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, so funny because in New York City it'd be like, yo, you be into nerd shit 1 minute and then the next minute you're like beating somebody else.
Yeah, like exactly. Like you
or you're like selling drugs. Like New York City is very like you don't like understand until you're here and you see how it kind of functions, and you're just like, oh shit, like, yeah, like it makes sense.
Somebody,
like,
and that's
most
just how
most people in this city are really like. This city opens your mind up to so much that it's hard to be ignorant, and even in your ignorance, you're still kind of smarter than your average Joe. You know, because you get exposed to so much in your lifetime that, like, you know.